Picture this, a chilling silence blankets the skies of Estonia, as the tension hangs in the air like an impending storm. It's September 19, 2025, and suddenly, that silence is shattered by the thunderous roar of 3 Russian MiG-31 fighter jets invading Estonian airspace over the Gulf of Finland. They hover there, menacingly, for a hair-raising 12 minutes. It's a provocative move that sends shivers down the spine of a nation that has sensed Russian aggression creeping ever closer since the onset of the Ukraine conflict. Estonia decides it has had enough. With the stakes higher than ever, the small Baltic nation responds by investing a jaw-dropping $4.7 billion in an arsenal of advanced weaponry from the United States, which includes a state-of-the-art missile system capable of striking right at the heart of Russia's military ambitions. This is not just an upgrade, it's Estonia's declaration that it will protect its skies, turning them into a formidable fortress against President Vladimir Putin's aspirations. But what led to such a dramatic shift? For years, Estonia, along with its Baltic neighbors, relied solely on NATO's Baltic air policing mission, a lifeline that began in 2004. Over 2 decades, they depended vitally on rotating NATO deployments to patrol their airspace, without having their own fighter jets. This vulnerability sat like a ticking time bomb. But in 2023, that narrative would change. In a pivotal moment, Estonia and Latvia forged an unprecedented alliance with German defense manufacturer Diehl Defense. Signing a colossal $464 million contract for the Irish TSLM medium-range air defense system. This procurement was the largest Estonia had ever undertaken, marking a significant turning point in its defense strategy. The anticipation is palpable as the first deliveries arrive by late 2024. Fast forward to mid-2025, and Estonia's air defense capabilities go from non-existent to being among the world's most advanced, all in under 18 months. The Irish TSLM has proven itself on the battlefield in Ukraine, showcasing an astonishing near 100% success rate. By mid-2024, it has racked up over 240 confirmed kills against various Russian threats. The sound of missiles launching becomes music to Estonia's ears. With each battery able to target threats within 25 miles, equipped with sophisticated infrared guidance that evades countermeasures, the nation's defenses are turning dreams into reality. Why does this matter? It means that every inch of Estonian territory now boasts a shield against the horrors of aerial onslaught. As the radar, akin to watchful eyes, scans for intruders, the country braces itself for any potential Russian advances. Yet, the story doesn't end here. In April of the very next year, as if doubling down on its resolve, Estonia announces ambitious plans to procure cutting-edge long-range missile defense systems, estimating a budget of $1.1 billion. These weapons, designed specifically to counter the very ballistic threats that loom ever closer, promise a new chapter in the nation's defense narrative. And with military installations in Russia sitting a mere 60 miles from its borders, the urgency of these advancements cannot be overstated. Will Estonia's fortified skies deter further incursions? Will these developments signal a new era in the NATO-Russia dynamic? As they acquire sophisticated systems poised for a possible showdown, a relentless tension lingers, hinting at a brewing storm in the region. And as the defense landscape shifts dramatically, what are the repercussions for a world teetering on the brink of conflict? The answers lie in the ominous skies and the bustling rooms of strategic planning. Imagine the hum of engines slicing through the crisp Baltic air, a sound that once filled Estonians with dread. But now, it's about to change everything. Building on that massive defense deal, the biggest in Estonia's history, deliveries kicked off late in 2024. By mid-2025, their new air shield stood ready. From nothing, to a world-class network. All in just 18 breathless months. What if one system could turn the tide against an invisible storm of threats? Picture this, cutting-edge tech, forged in the fires of real conflict. The IRIS-TI ESLM system. It's no ordinary shield. It's been battle-hardened right there, in Ukraine. Since late 2022. Ukrainian defenders have wielded it like a guardian angel. Against relentless Russian missile barrages. Reports whisper of near-perfect hits, almost 100% success. Heart-pounding reliability. Listen to this bombshell from Diehl Defense's CEO. Helmut Rauch. By mid-2024, those Ukrainian units tallied over 240 confirmed takedowns. Russian cruise missiles, drones, even aircraft vanished from the skies. One jaw-dropping clash in July 2025? A lone battery shredded 8 incoming cruise missiles in under 30 seconds. One shot per target, flawless precision. The system's power? It's staggering. Almost unreal. Each battery reaches out, up to 25 miles. Climbs altitudes of 13 miles high. Missiles lock on with infrared imaging, sharp as a predator's gaze. Jamming them? Deceiving them? Near impossible. Why? Radar systems falter under electronic fog, blinded like eyes in smoke. But these, they hunt heat. Infrared seekers. Born from dogfight skies. Engines roar with warmth, betraying every foe. Aircraft, self-propelled weapons, they glow like beacons in the night. Exceptions exist, stealth ghosts Russia barely fields, thanks to other watchful eyes. Or silent glide bombs, easily rattled by signals, their aim already shaky. But here's the real terror, multi-target fury. All at once. No matter the prey. Planes dropping payloads? Drones swarming? It strikes the carriers, and their deadly cargo. Estonia's compact land, a mere speck on the map. Just a few batteries, and the whole nation breathes easier. Covered. Protected. Feel the tension build, as radars sweep the horizon. But what happens when longer shadows loom? Ballistic nightmares racing at impossible speeds, could Estonia's web hold? Estonia has taken formidable steps to bolster its air defense, purchasing 3 advanced Irish TSLM batteries. These systems come equipped with state-of-the-art radar technology, typically the German-made TRML-4D, capable of covering 360 degrees and tracking over 1,500 targets beyond 150 miles away. For context, that's like having your eyes on every approach from the capital, Tallinn, to every small corner of the nation. With this technology, a radar station near Tallinn could potentially intercept any Russian incursion within its airspace. But Estonia isn't merely content with this advancement. By April 2025, the Estonian Center for Defense Investments revealed ambitious plans for a long-range ballistic missile defense system, projected to cost approximately €1 billion. This tactical acquisition list includes the renowned American Patriot system, the Israeli David Sling, and the Franco-Italian SAMP-T. Each of these systems is specifically engineered to intercept and neutralize the type of ballistic threats frequently wielded by Russia. The proximity of Estonia to Russian military areas amplifies the imperative for such advanced capabilities. Just 60 miles from its border lies Luga, a hub of military activity in Russia. In a harrowing reality, a Russian Iskander-M missile launched from there can strike Tallinn in a mere 4 minutes, traveling at dizzying speeds of up to 5,000 miles per hour. This gives Estonia only a fragile window to detect, track, and intercept a potential deadly strike. But that's not all. Other threats loom in the skies, be it from aircraft or unmanned drones. Particularly concerning given Estonia's compact geography. Spanning a few hundred miles in each direction, a comprehensive, multi-layered air defense network is not just a luxury, it's essential for survival. This critical foresight reached its pinnacle in October 2025, when Defense Minister Hanno Pevkur confidently stated that Estonia would significantly amplify its arms purchases from the US, skyrocketing its procurement limit from $500 million to an astonishing $4.7 billion. What will Estonia acquire next to defend its sovereign skies? Is this the dawn of a revolution in Baltic defense strategy? As tensions simmer at the border, the stakes have never been higher. Estonia's small size worked against its favor, spanning just over a few hundred miles north to south and east to west. That's why a multi-layered air defense network, handling every threat, became crucial for them. This reached a peak in October 2025. When Defense Minister Hanno Pevkur confirmed Estonia's shockingly sharp increase in weapon purchases from the US. They raised the procurement limit from $500 million to a jaw-dropping $4.7 billion. Imagine the roar of Congress approving exports to a nation right on Russia's doorstep. A perfect spot for either an invasion or a solid blockade. Pounding hearts amid the thrill of power. What desperate move will Russia make next to counter this? The items Estonia bought scream priorities for any leader fearing Russian might. They plan to double their high-mobility artillery rocket systems, or HIMARS, from 6 to 12. Swell their Army tactical missile systems, called ATACMS, from 18 to 200. And grab the brand new PRISM precision strike missile system still in development. Feel the weight of strategic shifts. These upgrade Estonia's offensive punch dramatically. Combined with past defenses, Estonia turns into a granite barrier, forcing Russian forces to waste endless manpower and gear just to approach. HIMARS has earned legends in Ukraine, where it blasted Russian ammo dumps, command centers, and supply chains behind enemy lines. Each launcher unleashes 6 rockets fast, then darts away before retaliation. What fire and chaos does that sound like on the ground? This shoot-and-scoot tactic ruined formations and lives, becoming a smart lesson from Ukraine's brutal experiences. ATACMS elevates it further, reaching 190 miles into northwestern Russia from Estonia's borders. The missile targets parked planes, ammo stores, anti-air setups, even fortified bunkers. Deep inside, its design varies for destruction. The original M39 packed hundreds of bomblets, shredding soft targets and structures. A mere 2% failure rate means most explode, tearing apart wide zones of fate. Then came the unitary version. One hefty 500-pound warhead rams through armor, detonating for maximum ruin on vehicles and buildings. Hear the crunch of metal and the rumble of earth, as precision folds defenses like paper. Past battles showed their edge. Bomblets detonate wildly, overwhelming defenses in seconds. Can you smell the acrid smoke of shattered earth? Or feel the tremor underfoot as chaos unfolds? This up close to Russia might backfire on Moscow. Factories cranking out weapons for its northern front sit dangerously near. Could Russian hopes crumble here, humiliated by a smaller foe's cunning reach? Estonia pushes further with ATACMS next-gen upgrades, promising more than 300 kilometers of striking power, hitting fast-moving targets with supersonic speeds, harder to spot or stop before they slam home. Cities tremble in the distance. Will Russia's heartlands now quiver under Estonian eyes? They add counter-rocket, artillery, and mortar systems too, called SIRAM, to snuff out short-range threats like shells or drones. Picture skies lighting up with intercepts, buzzing missiles clashing in the air above Baltic shores. What hidden weakness in Russian plans does this expose? Ready to ignite a storm none foresaw? The tension in Eastern Europe has been mounting for years. Since the onset of the war in Ukraine, the Baltic states have been sounding alarm bells, warning NATO and Europe of the looming threat posed by Russian aggression. As fears escalated, predictions arose that Russia might one day assault a NATO ally, igniting a conflict of unprecedented scale. This grim prediction nearly became a terrifying reality on September 19, 2025, when 3 Russian MiG-31 fighter jets brazenly invaded Estonia's airspace, hovering menacingly over the Gulf of Finland for a nerve-wracking 12 minutes. For Estonia, that was the last straw. In response, the Estonian government made a historic move, securing a staggering $4.7 billion in military equipment from the United States, including state-of-the-art missile systems capable of striking deep into Russian territory. Estonia turned its skies into a formidable defense network, a calculated deterrent against ambitions of aggression from the Kremlin. But this monumental purchasing spree was rooted in a long-standing strategy to fortify themselves against Russian incursions. Historically, Baltic nations had relied heavily on NATO's Baltic Air Policing mission for aerial defense. Since 2004, NATO allies conducted air patrols in the region, blanketing Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania with essential protection, lacking their own fighter jets. However, things shifted drastically in 2023. Estonia, alongside Latvia, made a landmark $400 million contract with a German defense company for the Irish TSLM air defense system, marking the largest defense purchase in Estonia's history. The first units arrived by late 2024, and by mid-2025, Estonia was prepared to counter potential threats with an impressive array of air defense capabilities, a rapid transformation from a state lacking defensive systems to one with an advanced network of protection within 18 months. The Irish TSLM missile system, proven effective in combat against Russian threats in Ukraine, boasted a near-perfect success rate. It can neutralize targets up to 25 miles away and 13 miles high, utilizing advanced infrared guidance technology that makes it resilient against counterattacks. In a chilling twist, on April 2025, Estonian defense plans escalated further. The government announced intentions to procure a long-range missile defense system, earmarking around €1 billion for high-end technology solutions like the American Patriot system and advanced alternatives. With the Russian military base in Luga ominously close, just 60 miles from Estonia's border, Estonia understood that time was not on their side. A missile from Luga could strike Tallinn in a mere 4 minutes, a sobering thought that underlined the need for a robust, multi-layered defense system. As October rolled around, Defense Minister Hanna Pevkua confirmed an extraordinary increase in weapons procurement that would see Estonia's budget rise from $500 million to a jaw-dropping $4.7 billion. Paving the way for significant advances in military capability. The sharpened focus on defense raised eyebrows. Estonia would be doubling its high-mobility artillery systems from 6 to 12 and significantly increasing its tactical missile system from 18 to a staggering 200 units. But wait, what does all of this mean for the balance of power in the region? With missiles capable of striking deep into Russian territory, Estonia was evidently positioning itself as a bulwark against potential hostilities, sending a clear message that it will not cower beneath the shadow of Russian military ambition. The potential effectiveness of the ATACMS missile system, designed with devastating precision, shifted the strategic calculations in the region. The advanced bomblet design could cause widespread destruction while a unitary warhead could target fortified military installations with lethal efficiency. St. Petersburg, just a stone's throw away, serves as a critical military hub for Russia. With the Estonian border only 100 miles away, the threats loom large, making firm defenses even more vital. As Estonia gears up to face these threats head-on, the world watches closely. How will this rapid military build-up play out? Will it serve as a true deterrent against Russian ambitions, or could it spark an even more significant conflict? One thing is clear. The balance of power in this region is shifting, and the stakes have never been higher. What happens next will be pivotal. Will Estonia stand strong, or will it become the battleground in the fight between two powerhouses? The tension is palpable, as time is ticking, and the world holds its breath. In the heart of contemporary Europe, tensions simmer like a boiling pot, and one small nation emerges as an unexpected bulwark against a looming threat. The Baltic states, particularly Estonia, have sounded alarm bells about Russia's aggressive posturing, warnings that echo louder with each passing day since the onset of the Ukrainian conflict. On a fateful day, September 19, 2025, a shocking incident unfolded. 3 Russian MiG-31 fighter jets violated Estonian airspace, soaring ominously over the Gulf of Finland. Enveloped in a 10-minute standoff, the air grew thick with tension, and Estonia's military resolve ignited. Enough was enough. In a decisive move, Estonia invested an astonishing $4.7 billion in advanced weaponry from the United States, fortifying its defenses and turning its skies into a formidable barrier against Russian ambitions. But how did Estonia arrive at this critical juncture? For many years, the nation relied solely on NATO's air patrols, with no indigenous fighter jets to defend its territory. Since 2004, NATO had been their sentinel in the skies, rotating deployments to ensure security. However, a historic breakthrough took place in 2023 when Estonia, alongside Latvia, sealed a landmark agreement worth €400 million for the cutting-edge Irish TSLM defense system. This procurement marked a transformative step, elevating Estonia's defenses from virtually non-existent to one of the most sophisticated networks in the world in just 18 months. The Irish TSLM is no ordinary air defense system. It boasts proven success against Russian threats in the turbulent skies of Ukraine. In fact, reports indicate an astounding near 100% success rate. In a dazzling display of firepower, a single battery once intercepted 8 Russian cruise missiles in a mere half a minute. Such precision is not mere luck, it's the result of advanced infrared guidance technology that makes it remarkably hard to counter with conventional means. It's a game changer in the military theater, revealing that Estonia means business. Yet, this was only the beginning. In April 2025, the Estonian Defense Ministry laid out plans for an ambitious long-range missile defense project, eyeing a €1 billion investment. Among the contenders were the American Patriot system and Israel's David Sling, strategically chosen to counter the ballistic threats posed by Russia. With military installations just a stone's throw from the Estonian border, the pressure was palpable. Consider the chilling reality: an Iskander-M missile could hit Tallinn in less time than it takes to make a cup of coffee. This proximity necessitated a multi-layered defense network, capable of countering not only ballistic threats but also aerial assaults. Fast forward to October 2025. The defense minister announced a staggering increase in weaponry procurement from the U.S., elevating the budget from $500 million to an astronomical $4.7 billion. Congress had greenlit this decision without hesitation. The implications were profound. Estonia would double its high-mobility artillery systems, expand its missile range significantly, and acquire the groundbreaking PRISM missile system still in development. Each of these units could strike deep into Russian territory, posing a severe threat to its military capabilities. What does this mean for the delicate balance in the region? The ATACMS missiles, boasting a reach of around 200 miles, could effortlessly target Russian assets from Estonian soil. This is a strategic leap, as the potential range of the PRISM system could extend well beyond, threatening population centers directly. Moreover, the prospect of supersonic missile technology raises the stakes. These projectiles could strike swiftly and silently, leaving little time for Russia to react. Estonia is not just stopping at missiles, it is also acquiring counter-rocket artillery technologies capable of intercepting incoming threats, such as artillery shells and rockets, in their final moments. This could serve as the ultimate safeguard for command centers and critical infrastructure, wrapping Estonia in a security blanket that reflects its unwavering resolve against intimidation. In a world rife with uncertainty, one question looms ominously: can Estonia's ambitious defense strategy truly deter Russia, or is this merely a prelude to a greater conflict? With a defense budget that consumes more than a quarter of its GDP over the next 4 years, Estonia is making a bold statement. The question remains: will this small nation successfully transform into an unassailable fortress, or will history remind us of the perils of underestimating an adversary? The stakes could not be higher as the clock ticks down, and the world watches closely. In recent years, NATO has made incredible strides towards strengthening its defense posture, especially since the onset of heightened tensions with Russia. In February 2025, a groundbreaking commitment emerged from NATO, with 15 allied nations, including Estonia, coming together to combat low-altitude threats. This initiative focused on innovative solutions like passive air surveillance, capable of detecting stealthy incursions that traditional radar might miss. Imagine a Russian aircraft stealthily approaching Estonia, now up against a formidable wall of detection. Let's break this down strategically. As a Russian jet moves into Estonian airspace, it faces not just one, but multiple layers of detection. Advanced long-range radar systems integrated into NATO's defense framework can spot these aircraft hundreds of miles away, giving allies ample time to act. Estonia's radar network, coordinated from the Baltic Air Surveillance Network's Regional Airspace Surveillance Coordination Center in Lithuania, sends real-time tracking information directly to NATO's Combined Air Operations Center in Germany. As the threat draws closer, IRIS-T radar systems spring into action, locking onto the aircraft from distances exceeding 75 miles. If the aircraft dares to violate Estonian airspace, NATO jets, likely fifth-generation F-35s or advanced Swedish Gripens, are scrambled to intercept, equipped with cutting-edge beyond-visual-range missiles and state-of-the-art electronic warfare capabilities. This advanced arsenal outclasses what Ukraine has used, as they've relied on upgraded models from decades past. But the situation gets even cooler. Amidst this tech parade, if an aircraft becomes a genuine threat, IRIS-T SLM batteries can unleash their sonic wrath, ready to respond in a heartbeat. Not only do these systems provide extensive coverage, but they're also part of a multi-layered defense network that no invader can underestimate. What if I told you that this technology allows Estonia not only to defend but to strike back? Russian forces may be facing a higher cost than they ever anticipated when considering aggression toward NATO allies. Imagine that heart-racing moment when tensions reach a breaking point. What forces would they truly unleash, and what could they lose in return? Stay tuned to discover the unexpected twists that lie ahead in this unfolding narrative, magnifying glass tilted right. In the shadow of the escalating conflict between Russia and Ukraine, the Baltic nations, particularly Estonia, have become vigilant sentinels, sounding alarms about their neighbors' looming threat. In September 2025, a harrowing incident brought this tension to a boiling point. 3 Russian MiG-31 fighter jets brazenly entered Estonia's airspace, staying there for a nerve-wracking 12 minutes. The message was clear: enough is enough. In response, Estonia made a monumental decision, investing a staggering $4.7 billion in advanced weaponry from the United States, transforming its airspace into a formidable defense network aimed at thwarting Russian aggression. This strategic move was years in the making, seamlessly aligning with Estonia's commitment to enhancing its defenses well before the current crisis. But what drove this transformation, and how has Estonia positioned itself as a bulwark against potential incursions? For years, the Baltic states depended on NATO's aerial patrols, relying on Allied forces to safeguard their skies since their own air defenses were largely non-existent. This setup, which began in 2004, served as their only shield against Russian warplanes until a pivotal shift occurred in 2023. Estonia and Latvia finalized a groundbreaking deal, investing $464 million in the Irish TSLM medium-range air defense system. This acquisition marked a historic stride in Estonia's military capabilities, evolving from virtually no defensive systems to one of the most sophisticated frameworks in just 18 months. The Irish TSLM represents the cutting edge of military technology. Having proven its mettle on the battlefields of Ukraine, showcasing an impressive close to 100% success rate against Russian missiles. By mid-2024, the technology had amassed significant accolades, achieving over 240 confirmed intercepts of enemy threats. Picture this: in a remarkable encounter, a single Irish T battery neutralized 8 incoming Russian missiles in a breathtaking display of precision within just half a minute. Each SLM battery can identify targets from an astonishing distance of up to 25 miles, reaching altitudes of 13 miles, and utilizes advanced infrared imaging to lock onto threats, making them nearly impossible to deceive. This capability drastically enhances Estonia's defense against both aerial assaults and missile strikes. But Estonia wasn't just stopping with ground-based defenses. In April 2025, officials revealed intentions to procure long-range ballistic missile defense systems with an eye-watering price tag of $1.1 billion. This ambitious array includes the renowned American Patriot system and the Israeli David Sling. With its proximity to Russian military hotspots, just 60 miles from its border, this move is crucial, as a missile could reach Tallinn in a mere 4 minutes. How will Estonia's proactive steps alter the landscape of NATO-Russian tensions? Come October 2025, Estonia announced a dramatic increase in its arms procurement budget to $4.7 billion. With congressional approval secured, the nation set its sights on an arsenal worthy of any military strategist's dreams. Plans include doubling its artillery from 6 to 12 high-mobility rocket systems and significantly boosting its tactical missile stocks, with cutting-edge developments on the horizon. The ATACMS missiles, capable of striking targets deep within Russia, symbolize this new offensive era. Their range of 200 miles allows Estonia to engage key Russian military assets, while innovative warhead designs promise unparalleled destruction capabilities. Yet, as tensions rise, the geographical advantages of being close to such powerful adversaries may just tilt the scale in Estonia's favor. The reality is stark: Russia's military might rely on supply lines vulnerable to Estonian strikes. Should Russia muster forces for an invasion, they would become prime targets for preemptive actions. Without thorough logistical preparations, any attempt at surprise would falter under the weight of Estonian firepower. This dilemma leaves Russia grasping for a strategy in an increasingly precarious situation. For the Estonian people, vigilance against Russian threats is not a distant memory, it is an inherent part of their existence. Despite having been forcibly integrated into the Soviet Union decades earlier, Estonia has emerged resolute, embarking on an unprecedented journey toward military modernization, ready to defend its sovereignty against an ever-looming threat. How will this evolution impact the fabric of NATO's collective security, and will it deter Russia from further provocations? The stakes have never been higher, and the world watches with bated breath. The shadow of history looms heavily over the Baltic states, where memories of oppression linger in the air like the scent of damp earth after a storm. For generations, the echo of Russian aggression is not just a tale told, it's a haunting reality for those who remember the Soviet era. Recently, tensions thickened when Russian fighter jets dared to breach Estonian airspace, an act that sent shockwaves throughout NATO. On September 19, 2025, the skies over Estonia crackled with tension as 3 Russian MiG-31 jets crossed the threshold into Estonian territory, hovering for what felt like an eternity, 12 minutes that could have sparked catastrophic escalation. This incident pushed Estonia to the edge, prompting the nation to bolster its defenses with an astonishing $4.7 billion investment in advanced weaponry from the United States. Could this be the lightning rod that forever changed the status quo in Eastern Europe? In preparation for a possible confrontation, Estonia embarked on a transformative journey of military procurement, igniting a race against time. This was not a mere budget exercise, it was a strategic overhaul that turned the country into an impenetrable fortress against Russian ambitions. Just years earlier, Estonia, alongside its neighbors, relied solely on NATO's air policing, a stopgap measure that shielded them from aerial threats yet offered no tangible means of retaliation. Until 2023, this precarious reliance defined their defense posture. But radical change came in the form of a $400 million contract with a German defense manufacturer for the Irish TSLM medium-range air defense system, the largest in Estonian history. Deliveries began in late 2024, and by mid-2025, Estonia's air defense capabilities transitioned from virtually non-existent to one of the most sophisticated systems globally, capable of neutralizing threats up to 25 miles away. This wasn't mere speculation, the Irish TSLM had proven its effectiveness in the brutal theaters of war in Ukraine, boasting nearly perfect success in intercepting Russian attacks. In one instance, an Irish T-battery obliterated 8 missiles in mere seconds, a ballet of destruction powered by cutting-edge technology. Could this level of preparedness change the dynamics of power in the region and deter future aggression? In 2025, Estonia's ambition didn't stop with short-range defense systems. Spurred by lessons learned from ongoing conflicts, reports emerged that they would acquire long-range missile defense systems with a staggering price tag of €1 billion. The goals were explicit: to intercept ballistic missiles that Russia frequently brandishes, to ensure that threats were neutralized before they could reach Estonian soil. With military installations just a stone's throw away from the border in Luga, the risk was palpable. As the days turned into weeks, anticipation hung in the air. Would Estonia's proactive measures be enough to shift the power balance? Could their investments instill caution in the Russian leadership? The Estonian government announced they would drastically increase their arms procurement from the US, raising their expenditure ceiling from $500 million to a jaw-dropping $4.7 billion. The planned acquisitions read like the dreams of military strategists, the doubling of high-mobility artillery systems and a significant increase in tactical missile units. With the capacity to target deep into Russian territory, these steps would reinforce Estonia's stance as a formidable player. As the winds of change began to swirl, one question lingered: would Estonia's newfound strength be enough to deter Russia's military ambitions permanently? As history wove its intricate patterns, it became painfully evident that aggression from the east could no longer be met with complacency. Estonia stood resolute, sending a clear signal: any assault on their sovereignty would have consequences more severe than Russia might anticipate. But was this transformation not merely a show of military might, but also a bulwark against the ghosts of the past? Within each success, the echoes of the past resonated louder, a persistent reminder of the enduring spirit of these nations fighting to reshape their future. The ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine has reshaped the military landscape in Europe, highlighting the vulnerabilities of the Baltic states. As tensions escalated, Russian President Vladimir Putin's initial calculations about NATO's growth have backfired spectacularly. Once, in 2001, the prospect of the Baltic states joining NATO barely stirred concern from Putin. He responded nonchalantly during public interviews, presenting a calm facade. At that time, Russia was still navigating economic recovery, challenging the West was not in the cards. However, fast forward to September 19, 2025, and the narrative has dramatically shifted. In a shocking breach, 3 Russian MiG-31 fighter jets penetrated Estonian airspace, lingering for 12 harrowing minutes. The moment sent shockwaves throughout Europe, proving that the looming threat of aggression persists. Faced with this provocation, Estonia took decisive action. They allocated $4.7 billion to acquire state-of-the-art weaponry, transforming their skies into a formidable fortress against what many see as Putin's expanding ambitions. Consider this: a nation of merely 1.3 million residents, once considered vulnerable, is now emerging fortified, brimming with advanced defense technology. After decades of relying on NATO's air policing, Estonia significantly shifted its military capabilities in 2023 by sealing a historic $464 million deal for a next-generation air defense system from Germany. This procurement was just the beginning. By mid-2025, Estonia would enhance its air defenses with a system that had already proven its mettle against Russian aggression in Ukraine. Reports highlighted its near-perfect interception rates against threats resembling those that had menaced European skies. What then followed was a cascade of strategic brilliance. Estonia's defense enhancements didn't end with ground-based systems. In April 2025, plans were unveiled for a long-range ballistic missile defense system, alarming Russia, whose military installations lie just 60 miles from the Estonian border. A missile launched from there could reach Tallinn in a mere 4 minutes. The intensity of this arms race can't be understated. Estonia's portfolio expanded dramatically, initiating a plan to boost its artillery and missile systems, including the ever-mighty high-mobility artillery rocket systems. The implications of such strength are staggering, missile ranges stretching far into Russian territories, putting the Kremlin's military infrastructure on notice. How did it come to this? Putin's gross miscalculation regarding NATO's expansion and Western unity has flipped the script. Estonia's defense investment, which would have been unthinkable 5 years ago, is now deemed essential. On the ground, the Baltic nation is evolving from being a frontline state to becoming a bulwark, standing firm against a resurgent threat. With every investment in artillery and advanced missile systems, Estonia sends a compelling message to the Kremlin: the old narrative of Russia's dominance is crumbling. The Baltic states have transformed from seemingly easy targets to players in a high-stakes game of military chess, conservatively outlined and aggressively repositioned. As we delve deeper, we'll discover what this arms buildup truly means for the balance of power in Europe, and whether Estonia's evolution into a formidable defender can stave off the increasingly emboldened Russian bear. Will this be a new chapter in Baltic resilience or a grave mistake that escalates a brewing storm? NATO's swift response exposed Russia's maneuvers as futile probes. Coordination shown as Italian fighters, aided by Swedish and Finnish planes, intercepted the intruders in moments. No weaknesses emerged, no vulnerabilities to exploit. Yet, amid the tension, Russia stumbled upon an unintended revelation. Have you ever wondered how a tiny nation of 1.3 million souls is transforming into an unyielding fortress? Imagine the scent of victory in the air, the rumble of distant thunder from engines that could reshape Europe's fate. That small country, Estonia, is gearing up for weaponry unlike any seen before. Defensive shields buzz with infrared eyes, spotting heat from miles away. Offensive strikes promise supersonic prowess, shattering bunkers with pinpoint fury. Russia's leaders must feel the chill of humiliation, their gray zone games disrupted by a humble yet fierce opponent. What if Putin's prized military hubs trembled under such threats? The thought lingers like a cold fog rolling in from the sea. Russia, battered industrially from the endless Ukraine quagmire, struggles to recover. Equipment losses pile up, casualties weigh heavy. Little chance of a major offensive looms for years ahead, a cruel twist for a power that once intimidated. Why does this setback sting like a slap to the face? Estonia seizes the moment, accelerating its arsenals. Allies could follow, turning Russia's borders into a gauntlet of fire. Picture the tactile grip of control slipping away, the distant boom of warning shots echoing through snowy expanses. Humiliation brews as Vladimir Putin's gambles yield not dominance, but a hardened barrier. In a shocking twist, this Baltic bulwark forces a global rethink. No more easy aggression, instead, a symphony of defiance that humbles invaders. What final blow will seal Putin's dread? Europe's future hangs in the balance.